Ladies and gentlemen, we are officially waiting for the release of the Nintendo Switch 2, but that does not mean we are done with the Nintendo Switch quite yet. And February has some pretty interesting games coming out for the console. So in this video, I'll be telling you what games you should keep an eye out for, so let's go ahead and get right into this video. So allegedly there's going to be a Nintendo Direct this month, so maybe there'll be a couple more surprise releases, maybe not, but at the time of recording this, these are the games that you should be checking out, at least in my opinion, right? Before we get started, if you could hit a like and subscribe, that would truly mean the world to me. We're like 80 subscribers away from 15,000, and 15,000 is way cooler than 14,000. So let's go ahead and get into the video. The first game we're talking about today is Moons of Darsalon. I think that's how you pronounce it, and this is releasing February 6th of 2025. I think there's like a weird controversy around this game because they're using AI, not in the game, I don't think, but as like the actual cover art or in some promotional art or something. That being said, the game looks pretty cool. Teams of astronauts got lost during their mining missions on the different moons. You need to complete several rescue missions in which you will have to lead them to the closest space station. This game kind of reminds me of something from the Sega Genesis era, like the graphics and the gameplay, and it looks like it could be pretty fun, so you might want to check this one out. There's a really cool game coming out called Undying, and this is releasing February 11th of 2025. You have been infected by a zombie bite, and your days are numbered. In this emotional survival game, take control of Ann Ling, whose goal is to make sure her son Cody is safe and can live on after she turns. Limited resources must be managed in order to slow down her infection, while also making sure to protect your son. You also need to always be on the lookout for materials. You'll never know what is valuable to a trader, or what useful item you might be able to craft. Yeah, this is kind of cool, because mostly in zombie survival games, you're trying to run away from the zombies, or make sure you don't get bit. But in this one, you've already been bit, so you need to spend precious time with your son, try to survive a little bit longer, and I'm sure there's also going to be a few surprises in this one. So one of the big games coming out in February is Sid Meier's Civilization 7, or Civ 7. And I kind of can't believe this game is coming out on the Switch. I never played Civ 6 on the Switch. You can pick it up on the eShop sales all the time for like $5, maybe even cheaper than that. And I know it runs now, but I was doing research for this video, and I was reading on Reddit and a few other places, and people were saying that the game didn't run that great when it first came over to the Switch, so they're kind of wary a little bit about Civ 7. So just keep that in mind. Probably wait for some gameplay to come out if it hasn't came out already. But if everything looks good, this is probably a great game to pick up on the Switch, because you're going to be able to play this game for like 7 or 8 years. Not even exaggerating. Probably even longer than that. I've heard stories of people who still play Civ 2 to this very day. But if it doesn't run that great on the Switch, maybe wait for the Switch 2 for this one. But yeah, this is coming out in February. There's a strange game called Urban Myth Dissolution Center, and this is coming out February 12th of 2025, and it's very, very strange, like I just said. I don't know how else to put it. It's just a weird game. This is your one-stop solution for dissolving and dealing with cursed relics, monstrous oddities, and dimensional anomalies. Take on cases resolving on the urban myths as Azami Furaki, the heroine, under the supervision of Ayumi Marigoya. Guys, I know I just butchered these names, just know it's some Japanese sounding names, okay? Okay. This game takes you on an episodic digital mystery adventure, exploring various urban myths that haunt the internet, all presented in stunning, psychedelic pixel art. And if I could break this down the most simple way, what it kind of reminds me of is like a Famicom Detective Club game, just tackling urban myths and legends and having this weird pixel art. So if you enjoy games like that are kind of like visual novels but have more interactions, I think you'll really enjoy this one. And I just think this game looks really cool and is probably going to be really good. Tomb Raider 4 through 6 Remastered is also coming out on Valentine's Day, which is February 14th, 2025. So if I'm not mistaken, with this collection, we now have like 6 or 8 Tomb Raider games on the Switch. These games are published and developed by Aspyr, and the thing about Aspyr is you kind of have to be cautious about their games because they're either ports done amazingly well or they're horrendous and they barely work. I do think Tomb Raider 1 through 3 Remastered actually ran really good, so I'm going to assume the same team worked on this, so there's a good chance this is going to work perfectly fine. This is really cool. This is only $30 full priced for this collection, so you're getting each game for $10. I hope we get more of the modern Tomb Raider games on the Switch too. and that's starting to look like a real possibility. So there's another game coming out on Valentine's Day, and it's probably the most appropriate game to ever come out on Valentine's Day. And you may ask, well, what is that game about? Well, it's about dating. Dating who, you may ask? Well, it's not technically who, but what. The game is called Date Everything, and it's a sandbox dating simulator set in the comfort of your own home, featuring 100 fully voice-acted dateable characters. Let the romance flow between you, your bed, your smoke alarm, and everything else, I guess. So, are you ready to date everything? When they first showed this off in the Indie Direct, I was like, is this some kind of joke? What the hell is this? It actually looks pretty funny, and like it's gonna be good, kind of. I don't know if good is the word I would use, but it looks like it's going to be interesting. There we go. So if you've ever wanted to date, I can't even say this. Okay, I gotta regroup here. So if you've ever wanted to date anything and everything, well, you can now do that. The Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak 2 also comes out on February 14th, 2025. Return to the Culvered Republic and unravel the mystery of the Crimson Beast in The Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak 2. One day, a shocking series of murders set the wheels of fate into motion once again. Chaos looming on the horizon. The Spriggan Van Arkwright receives an unexpected visitor. Who is behind these murders, and what is their goal? Time may be the only key to unlocking the secrets lurking beneath the shadows. I don't know anything about this series at all, but I do know a lot of people love this, like, are diehard fans about it. And when I was looking on Twitter, there actually seemed to be a lot of hype around this game, and it looks really cool. Maybe if you've never played this series, go back and play the first one, or I don't know how many are actually in the series, but yeah, it just looks really good. Probably one of the best games coming out on the Switch this year. Now let's talk about a game called X-Out Resurfaced, and this is coming out February 21st, 2025. You thought they'd come from space? Well, you're wrong. It's up to you alone to stop the alien invasion from the depths of the ocean in this legendary home computer era shoot 'em up, dredged up and faithfully rebuilt for modern platforms. I think this game originally came out all the way back in 1990 on the Amiga, and now in 2025 you can play it on your Switch, which is actually pretty cool. This is a shoot 'em up, and I know that genre a lot of people, I guess in modern times, don't really seem to respect or even care about. It's a genre I've actually been getting into more and more lately. Maybe it's with age, I don't know. But it's fun, especially when there's like a story to go along with it. This one seems to be pretty cool because you have some upgrades and some extra items and abilities. And it just looks like a fun game. Turn your brain off and blast a bunch of enemies. Yeah, I think this one is definitely worth checking out. And the last game we're talking about today is Yu-Gi-Oh! Early Days Collection, and this is coming out February 27th, 2025, and this is actually my most anticipated game of the month. I freaking love Yu-Gi-Oh! So much. Seriously, one of my favorite series of all time. I love the cards, I love the anime, I love the games. The classic games, much like the Pokemon classic games, are generally the better games. There's one Yu-Gi-Oh! Game on the Switch I've beat a few times. I think it's called Legacy of Duelist or something like that. It's okay, but this is peak Yu-Gi-Oh! Right here. This and Forbidden Memories on PlayStation 1. I do think this is just all the games from the Game Boy Advance and maybe Game Boy era, but I think it's only games from that era. So if you're looking for some modern stuff or some stuff from PS1, it's not going to be on this. That being said, this is $50. The other Yu-Gi-Oh! Game goes on sale all the time for like $10. I'm going to pick this up full price. Hopefully, if you pick it up physically, they'll give you some Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, because that's what they did with the other one. And a really cool thing about this is you can actually play this online. So, dude, Yu-Gi-Oh! Online? Classic Yu-Gi-Oh! I really don't need to know more about this. Ladies and gentlemen, I wouldn't say it's a strong month for the Nintendo Switch, and we gotta give them credit, right? They're still putting out games, which is good, but there's really not that much going on. We're waiting for the Switch 2, it's right around the corner. But at least there are some interesting titles this month. Some pretty strange ones, but I think there's a couple gems in here, or hidden gems in here. So in the comments below, as always, let me know what you guys are thinking. If you made it to this part of the video, you should hit a like and subscribe, and follow your boy on Instagram, because we're growing on both platforms. You might as well become a part of this community, and then one day we could have 100 quadrillion subscribers. But first we have to hit 15K, so hit a like and subscribe, and you guys know me, I'll see you very soon with a new video. Peace out.